Einen wunderschönen guten Abend oder guten Tag, wann immer ihr das Video schaut, wünsche ich euch willkommen bei meinem Video und auch gleichzeitig willkommen zu meinem allerersten Video. Ja, das Video hier wird eine Reaktion sein auf die allererste Folge von Doctor Who. Ich bin ein riesen Doctor Who-Fan, habe mich auch schon mit den allerersten Folgen beschäftigt. Allerdings wirklich die erste Folge noch nicht gesehen. Also sowas wie John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Colin Baker kenne ich alles. Aber die erste Folge, wie gesagt, noch nicht gesehen und ihr dürft dabei sein, wenn ich jetzt die erste Folge schaue. Viel Spaß dabei! Damals mit Feuer gemacht wird, nicht richtig entzündet. Das ist irgendwie so Brachen und ein Rauchaufgang. Beste 50 Jahre Special. Das ist ja geil. Also was da nochmal gemacht hat. TARDIS. Nein. Keine TARDIS. Ah, doch TARDIS, TARDIS. Haha, geil. Was war das jetzt? Brauchen wir denn sowas?
Wait in here, please, Susan. I won't be long. Good night. Night.
Oh, yeah.
Not gone yet?
Obviously not.
Well, ask a silly question.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. I'll forgive you this time.
Oh, I've had a terrible day. I don't know what to make of it.
Oh, what's the trouble? Can I help?
Oh, it's one of the girls, Susan Foreman.
Susan Foreman? Oh, she your problem too?
Yes?
And you don't know what to make of her?
No?
How old is she, Barbara?
15.
15. She lets her knowledge out a bit at a time so as not to embarrass me. That's what I feel about her. She knows more science than I'll ever know. She's a genius. Is that what she's doing with history?
Something like that.
So your problem is whether to stay in business or hand over the class to her?
No, not quite.
What then?
Ian, I must talk to someone about this, but I don't want to get the girl into trouble. And I know you're going to tell me I'm imagining things.
Oh, I'm not.
Well, I told you how good she is at history. I had a talk with her, and I told her she ought to specialize. Well, she seemed quite interested till I said I'd be willing to work with her at her home. Then she said that would be absolutely impossible as her grandfather didn't like strangers.
She's a doctor, isn't it? It's a bit of a lame excuse.
Well, I didn't pursue the point, but then recently her homework's been so bad.
Yes, I know.
Finally, I was so irritated with all her excuses, I decided to have a talk with this grandfather of hers and tell him to take some interest in her.
Oh, did you indeed? And what's the old boy like?
Well, that's just it. I got her address from the secretary, 76 Totters Lane, and I went along there one evening. Oh, Ian, do pay attention.
Sorry, you went along there one evening?
Well, there isn't anything there. It's just an old junkyard.
Well, you must have gone to the wrong place.
Well, that was...
Susan, yes.
Susan?
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Rice. I didn't hear you coming in. Aren't they fabulous?
Who?
It's John Smith and the Coleman. They've gone from 19 to 2.
John Smith is the stage name of the Honourable Aubrey Waits. He started his career as Chris Waits in the Callers, didn't he, Susan?
You are surprising, Mr. Chesterton. I wouldn't expect you to know things like that.
I have an inquiring mind and a very sensitive ear.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Is that the book you're promising?
Yes.
Thank you very much. It will be interesting. I'll return it tomorrow.
Oh, that's not necessary. Keep it until you've finished it.
I have finished it.
Oh, where do you live, Susan? I'm giving Miss Wright a lift. I have room for one more.
No, thank you, Mr. Chesterton. I like walking through the dark. It's mysterious.
Be careful, Susan. There'll probably be fog again tonight. See you in the morning.
I expect so. Good night.
Die
Good night.
mysteriösen Sachen, die
Good night,
gefallen
Susan.
Dr. Harris.
That's not right.
Geil.
Over there.
Korrigiert das Französische.
Okay, there was no fog. I'd never have found this.
Well, she doesn't seem to have arrived yet. I suppose we are doing the right thing, aren't we?
You can't justify curiosity.
But her homework.
A bit of an excuse, really, isn't it? I've seen far worse. Suppose she couldn't be a foreigner. Doesn't make sense. Nothing about this girl makes sense. For instance, the other day I was talking about chemical changes. I'd given out the litmus paper to show cause and effect.
And she knew the answer before you'd started.
Well, not quite. The answer simply didn't interest her.
Yes, I can see red turns to blue, Mr. Chesterton, but that's because we're dealing with two inactive chemicals. They only act in relation to each other.
But that's the whole point of the experiment, Susan.
Yes, it's a bit obvious, isn't it? Well, I'm not trying to be rude, but couldn't we deal with two active chemicals? Then red could turn blue all by itself and we can get on with something else. I'm sorry, it's just an idea.
She means it. These simple experiments are child's play to her.
You know, it's almost got to the point where I deliberately wanted to trip her up.
Yes. Something like that happened the other day. I'd set the class a problem with A, B, and C as the 3 dimensions.
It's impossible unless you use D and D.
D and E? Whatever for? Do the problem that's set, Susan.
I can't, Mr. Chesterton. You can't simply work on 3 other dimensions.
3 of them? Oh, time being the 4th, I suppose. Then what do you need E for? What do you make the 5th dimension?
Space. Too many questions and not enough answers.
Come on, let's get it over with.
Auf geht's. Trefft den Doktor, trefft den Doktor. Ich will den Doktor
Well,
sehen.
don't you
Ich will den
feel
Doktor
it?
sehen.
I take things as they come. Come on.
Ich muss zugeben, das Schwarz-Weiß muss man sich echt so ein bisschen
Ian?
gewöhnen.
Look at this.
What, it's a police box. What on earth's he doing here? Well, these things are usually on the street. Oh, feel it. Feel it, you feel it?
Ja.
It's a faint vibration.
It's alive.
It's alive. Ganz wie Frankenstein.
It's not connected to anything, unless it's through the floor.
Look, I've had enough. Let's go and find a policeman.
Yes, all right. It's not going. Quick.
William Hartnell. William freaking Hartnell, Mann. Doktor Nummer 1.
There you are, Grandfather.
Susan, shh.
Excuse me.
What are you doing here?
Ist das
We're looking for a girl.
We?
Well, good evening.
What do you want?
Schallschraubenzieher?
One of our pupils, Susan Foreman, came into
War
this
das gerade ein
yard.
Schallschraubenzieher?
Really? In here? Are you sure?
Yes, we saw her from across the street.
One of their pupils, not the police then.
I beg your pardon?
Why were you spying on her? Who are you?
We heard a young girl's voice call out to you.
Your hearing must be very acute. I didn't hear anything.
It came from in here.
You imagined it.
I certainly did not imagine it.
Young man, is it reasonable to suppose that anybody would be inside a cupboard like that?
Would it therefore be unreasonable to ask you to let us have a look inside? I think we'd better go and fetch a policeman.
Very well.
And you're coming with us.
Oh, am I? I don't think so, young man. No, I don't think so.
We can't force him.
But we can't leave him here. Doesn't it seem obvious to you he's got her locked up in there? Look at it. There's no door handle. Must be a secret lock somewhere.
That was Susan's voice.
Of course it was. Barbara.
What are you doing out there?
She is in there.
Close the door, please. Barbara, what you done?
Tada! Es ist innen größer als außen.
Close the door, Susan. I believe these people are known to you.
They're two of my school teachers. What are you doing
Ich
here?
glaube, ich hatte weniger als will.
They must have followed you. That ridiculous school. I knew something like this would happen if we stayed in one place too long.
But why should they follow me?
Is this really where you live, Susan?
Yes.
And what's wrong with it?
But it was just a telephone box.
Perhaps.
And this is your grandfather?
Yes?
Yes.
Well, why didn't you tell us that?
I don't discuss my private life with strangers.
It was a police telephone box. I walked all round it. Barbara, you saw me.
You don't deserve any explanations. You pushed your way in here uninvited and unwelcome.
I think we ought to...
Just a minute. I know this is
Dear,
absurd.
dear. This is
I
very
feel...
Police
I walked all round
It
it.
stopped again, you know, and I tried...
Ich kann es nur immer wieder wiederholen.
Oh,
Der
you wouldn't
Doktor.
understand. Of course.
But I want to understand.
Yes. By the way, Susan, I managed to find a replacement for that faulty filament. Bit of a damaged job, but I think it'll serve.
It's an illusion. It must be.
What is he talking about now?
What are you doing here?
You don't understand, so you find excuses. Illusions, indeed. You say you can't fit an enormous building into one of your smaller sitting rooms.
No.
But you've discovered television, haven't you?
Yes?
Then by showing an enormous building on your television screen, you can do what seemed impossible, couldn't you?
Oh, yes, but I still don't.
Not quite clear, is it? I can see by your face that you're not certain. You don't understand. I knew you wouldn't. Never mind. Now,
It moves?
The TARDIS can go anywhere.
TARDIS? I don't understand you, Susan.
Well, I made up the name
relative
TARDIS from the initials,
dimensions in
time and
space.
relative dimension in space. I thought you'd both understand when you saw the different dimensions inside from those outside.
Let me get this straight. A thing that looks like a police box standing in a junkyard, it can move anywhere in time and space?
Yes.
quite so.
But that's ridiculous.
Why won't they believe us?
Well, how can we?
Now, don't get exasperated.
Eigentlich ist
Susan.
halt ein
Remember
Ding,
the
das
Red
innen
Indian.
größer ist als
When
außen.
he
Das
saw
soll
the
er sagen,
first
mal
steam
glauben.
train, his savage mind thought it an illusion too.
You're treating us like children.
Am I? The children of my civilization would be insulted.
Your civilization?
Yes, my civilization. I tolerate
Ouch.
this but I don't enjoy it. Have you ever thought what it's like to be wanderers in the fourth dimension? Have you?
It's a game that you and your grandfather are playing, if you like, but you can't expect us to believe it.
It's not a game.
But Susan,
It's not! Look, I love your school. I love England in the 20th century. The last 5 months have been the happiest of my life.
but you are one of us. You look like us. You sound like us.
I was born in another time, another world.
Now look here, Susan, you...
2 Herzen hat sie.
Oh, come on, Barbara. Let's get out of here.
It's no use, you can't get out. He won't let you go.
They're bound to make some sort of a complaint to the authorities, or at the very least, talk to their friends. If I do let them go, Susan, you realize, of course, we must go too.
No, Grandfather, we've had all this
No
up.
alternative, child.
I want to stay. Look, they're both kind people. Why don't you trust them? All you've got to do is ask them to promise to keep our secret and...
It's out of the question.
I won't go, Grandfather. I won't leave the 20th century. I'd rather leave the TARDIS than you.
Now you're being sentimental and childish.
No, I mean it.
Very well. Then you must go with them. I'll open the door.
Are you coming, Susan?
Oh, no, Grandfather, no!
Let me go. Get back to the ship, child. Hold it.
Wegen macht die Tür auf. Er hebt ab. Beziehungsweise er verschwindet. Von wegen die Aufnahme. Das ist witzig. soll das mit dem Bauch aufgenommen werden? Beziehungsweise ein neuer Planet. Oder Erde in der Zukunft, keine Ahnung. Moment. Oh nein, das ist bestimmt. Das ist nicht Gallifrey. Tja, wie es aussieht, sind wir am Ende der Episode angelangt. Caroline Ford. Also, es wird definitiv nicht die letzte Episode gewesen sein, die ich geschaut habe. Und natürlich werde ich euch dann auch auf dem Laufenden halten. So. Ja, wie gesagt, es wird nicht die letzte Episode gewesen sein, die ich geschaut habe. Und ich werde euch auf dem Laufenden halten, was das angeht. Natürlich, es werden immer wieder neue Episoden kommen, wo ich dann darauf reagieren werde. Es werden auch mal ein paar Anime kommen. Vielleicht werde ich auch mal ein paar Filme mit reinbringen, aber wahrscheinlich wird es eher bei Serien sein. Da der gesamte Kanal noch relativ am Anfang ist, bin ich froh, wenn ihr mir Nachrichten schreibt, auf was ich denn anfangen könnte zu reagieren. Fantasy-Serie, Science-Fiction-Serie, Anime oder auch Filme, die ihr gerne mal sehen würdet. Und falls ich die Filme schon kenne, dann kann ich auch einfach ein Review dazu machen. Wird auf jeden Fall. So, nochmal zu der Folge. Bin ein bisschen abgeschweift. Ja, ich fand die Folge auf jeden Fall sehr, sehr spannend. Schauspielerisch William Hartnell einfach geil geschauspielert, den Doktor. Auch wenn ich finde, er ist doch um einiges fieser als die Doktoren, die man jetzt heute in der neuen New Who-Serie so kennt. Ich meine, er entführt einfach mal er entführt einfach mal Ian und, ach Gott, jetzt habe ich den Namen schon wieder vergessen. Auf jeden Fall die beiden neuen Companions, wie es aussieht. Alte Companions. Er entführt die beiden einfach mal. Hä? Ja, ich bin mal gespannt. Es ist auf jeden Fall ein recht, ich weiß gar nicht, wie man es ausdrücken soll. Es ist ein sehr kriegskrämig, ich glaube, passt ganz gut. Ein kriegskrämiger Doktor, habe ich den Eindruck. Ich bin mal gespannt, wie es weitergeht. Und ja, ich denke mal, also jetzt ist mein erstes Video erstmal da. Und ich denke, am Wochenende spätestens wird es noch ein paar neue geben. Wir sehen uns.